us. Let's now welcome Olivia Bound. We're going to set the pace with the news bulletin. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Hansen. Good evening to all. Incumbent President Joel Tria will face former Vice President Joseph Walker in the rematch of a presidential runoff. The National Elections Commission has announced. A second round was recalled as neither candidate received more than 50% of the vote in the first round. NEC's chairperson, David Eto Brown Lasana, announcing the final results Tuesday, declared that the presidential runoff will take place on November 14 of this year in consonance with Article 83B of the 1986 Constitution of Liberia. The article states that all elections of public officers shall be determined by an absolute majority of the votes cast, and if no candidate obtains an absolute majority in the first ballot, a second ballot shall be conducted on the second Tuesday. Incumbent President Joe Tria won the first round with 804,087 votes, constituting 43.83%, while former Vice President Joseph Walker accumulated 796,996 votes, amounting to 43.44%. Campaign for the runoff also commenced as of October 24. Madam Brown Lassanan also announced more than 114,000 invalid votes for the total number of votes cast by Liberians. Madam Brown Lassanan, responding to inquiries from journalists, justified that invalid votes is not a Liberian thing, but called on the national legislature to allot the needed funds for elections. Debate among members of the Liberian Senate over the allocation of the road funds to various counties has ended in deadlock. The debate was recalled part of briefing for the Joint Committee comprising committees on judiciary, human rights, claims and petitions, public works and rural development, as well as public account, and audits on an act to restate and amend an act to establish a national road fund for road maintenance in the Republic of Liberia. During the debate, according to our reporter, some senators argued that more allocation of the funds must go to the larger counties, while little amount must go to the smaller counties, something which was rejected by senators of the smaller counties. Our Senate reporter noted that the majority of the senators are from the smaller counties. As such, the decision for bigger counties to benefit more of the road fund seems impossible to be accepted by the senators from the smaller counties. Speaking Tuesday, Rivers County Senator Javon Smith has raised concerns over the security of the National Road Fund. Senator Smith stated that the allocation of the road fund to various counties, while it is still in the consolidated account, is another means of creating financial corridor for the executive branch of government that will not be accounted for. The Rivers County Senator noted that, given the National Road Fund having an autonomous account status, could curb the mismanagement of the road fund. Surprise third-place presidential candidate Edward Appleton has disclosed recently he accumulated more votes than popular politicians in the October 10 election. Speaking Tuesday in a press conference, the grassroots development movement standard bearer Edward Appleton disclosed that while supposedly big parties were looking for crowds and filling stadiums, he was in the rural part of the country campaigning. Appleton was being considered as a ghost in the just ended election, said his party used the Jehovah's Witness style of campaigning to convey his message across the country. He meanwhile refuted speculations that he has endorsed a candidate in the round of election. According to him, his support to one of the two parties that are going to the round off will be done at the consent of his supporters in the coming days. Representative Hensing Kazulu has termed the Grand Cape Mount County senatorial seat as a desperately needed golden opportunity. He lost in the just ended October 10, 2023 presidential and legislative elections. Kazulu, who is the incumbent representative of Monsoor County Electoral District Number 17, was defeated in the Grand Cape Mount senatorial race by Madame Dapa Vapala on the ticket of the Unity Party. The Monsoor County Electoral District 17 lawmaker, speaking to some residents, recently noted that he has now focused on reflecting and recalibrating to get prepared for another celebration in 2024. Representative Kazulu also added that his biggest focus is the election of former Vice President and Standard Bearer of TUP, Joseph Boakai. Kazulu noted that he wanted to make some critical decisions, but he has observed that the CDC is afraid to incorporate him due to his support to the UP flag bearer. Criminal Court A has finally released an American missionary, Lucas Riches, from the Monrovia Central Prison on bail after he allegedly attempted killing his lover Jessica Lloyd a month ago. Suspect Riches was released on 4 conditions by the court. The conditions, according to RCA judicial correspondent, required him to surrender his passports, provide free human sureties, and report to criminal court twice a week while a traveling ban was imposed on him from leaving the country. The court's decision was based on an application filed by his lawyers seeking to admit to bail as provided by Chapter 13, Section 13.1 of the Criminal Procedure Law of Liberia. Our judicial correspondent further said that the American missionary being rearrested if he fails to live by the term of these conditions as outlined by the court. Thus, our judicial correspondent further said that the American missionary risks being rearrested if he fails to live by the term of these conditions as outlined by the court. The Liberia National Rural Women Monsoor County Chapter President Martin Corporal Howard has admonished women to take advantage of farming across the country. Speaking in schools of women Tuesday at the Brother City Hall in District 17, Monsoor County, Madam Howard said, President Weah gives $3 million Liberian dollars to the National Rural Women to engage with farming in order to support their children and family members in schools. It can be recalled that in September of this year, President Weah, through the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, gave the rural women $3 million Liberian dollars as his promise during his county's tour. Madam Howard said that the $3 million Liberian dollars was given to districts that have farming areas, including District 1 and 17 in Montserrat County. According to Hall, each district will receive $1 million and the balance will be given to people living with disability. Madam Howard, at the same time, is calling on young people not to be used by politicians to engage with violence. Away from Liberia, at least 23 civilians have been killed in an early morning attack by armed rebels in the troubled eastern region of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The mayor of Orchard, a town in the Beni region, attributed the killings to the Allied Democratic Forces. The ADF, a Ugandan armed group based in eastern Congo, has pledged allegiance to the Islamic State group and launches frequent attacks. In June, ATF militants killed 42 people, including 37 students in a high school in western Uganda. The deaths of two tourists and their guide at the national park in southwest Uganda last week were also attributed to the ADF. Uganda and DR Congo launched a joint military operation 2 years ago to try to root out the insurgents. Well, saying that's a news bulletin.
Very long.
Come on, sir.
Very long.
Toro.
This way, okay, everything not there.
No.
Thanks to Olivia Bound for the news bulletin and the foreign development. The news bulletin, it is a regular feature on the news program. If you are just joining us, these are the top developments we are following on the news program. National Elections Commission declares runoff election between incumbent President George Weah and former Vice President Joseph Boakai, as both candidates failed to accumulate the constitutional 50% plus one votes. Criminal Code A found the releases on American missionary Lucas Bridges from the Moreira Central Prison bail after he allegedly attempted killing his lover Jessica Lloyd a month ago. Ghost presidential candidate breaks silence. Edward Appleton says he was campaigning while major parties were fighting to fill stadiums. And in foreign news, at least 23 civilians have been killed in an early morning attack by armed robbers in the troubled eastern region of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Let's bring you the voices of the newsmakers. Incumbent President George Weah will face former Vice President Joseph Boakai in a rematch of a presidential runoff. The National Elections Commission has announced his second round was triggered as neither candidate received more than 50% of the vote in the first round. NEC's chairperson, Diveta Brown Lassanan, pronouncing the final results Tuesday, declared that the presidential runoff would take place on November 14, 2023, in consonance with Article 83B of the 1986 Constitution of Liberia. Surprise third place presidential candidate Edward Appleton has disclosed reason he accumulated more votes than popular politicians in the October 10 elections. Speaking Tuesday at press conference, the grassroots development movement standard bearer Edward Appleton disclosed that while supposedly big parties were looking for crowds and filling stadiums, he was in the rural parts of the country campaigning.
Tell this story, yeah? I'm going to vote. Tiens, Kuba, c'est là Kuba, tu as développé un story. Moi, je suis dans la maison. Kuba, t'es fait. Grab the story.
Edward Appleton is the surprise third place presidential candidate. They're speaking at a news conference Tuesday. At least one person has died, with two seriously injured following a charging operation at B Mountain Mining Company in Grand Cape County. The company has confirmed. The company safety manager, Shetra family, told RCN News that the deceased and the two injured persons were hit by charging rock while preparing for blasting recently. Hey, my man, don't confuse me. I'll let that thing go.
The medical team tried to do the CPR on them, and then later, after a few minutes, they noticed that it was so critical and decided that with a transfer. First, we decided to just transfer them to the nearest health center, which is Sinye, so that they can see if there's a way to improve on them or to send them for them. This was the first that we actually sent ahead to Sinye. When he got to Sinye, when they arrived, the doctor came out and received him on receiver. He actually pronounced him dead. Why the other two guys also were also, so he said, the doctor said there's no need carrying him further, right? For him, it's just the other two guys were also on the way going, and then the doctor told us, okay, just follow the two Monrovia, because what I see, I think the other two should just go to Monrovia once and for all, right? As we speak. So when that happened, when he was pronounced dead, we contacted the family members, we informed them, and then they also got to the hospital clinic with the team of the management from the management side, and they decided that they can bring him back, bury him. And the management, the union, and the family all have gone through that the formality and having the ceremony, the burial, and the right, waiting for the 7th day to be done as well as by our tradition. All right, and the two other guys are staying in the hospital, and I am understanding they might have taken them out because of their injury. So that's what happened here. I must tell you, it was never a landslide. It was never a landslide. It was just
Shadrach Famler is the safety manager at the Mountain, confirming the death of 2 persons at the company. Back to this development, incumbent President George Weah will face former Vice President Joseph Boakai in a rematch of a presidential runoff. The National Elections Commission has announced a second round was triggered as leader Kennedy received more than 50% of the vote in the first round. NEC's chairperson Deviata Brown Lasana, pronouncing the final results Tuesday, declared that the presidential runoff will take place on November 14, 2023, in consonance with Article 83B of the 1986 Constitution of Liberia.
Results of the 10th October 2023 polls showed that the ticket of the Congress for Democratic Change, CDC, obtained the highest number of votes, 804,087, constituting 43.83%, followed by the ticket of Unity Party, which obtained 796,961 votes, constituting 43.44%. However, Article 83B of the Constitution of Liberia requires that for any presidential ticket to win outright on the first ballot, that ticket must acquire at least 50% plus 1 of the valid votes cast. Article 83B further states that where no presidential ticket obtains at least 50% plus 1, the 2 presidential tickets that receive the highest number of valid votes shall participate in a runoff election to be held on the second Tuesday following the expiration of the time provided for in Article 83C. With the results of the 10th October polls showing that no presidential ticket obtained 50% plus 1 vote, a runoff election is hereby declared to be held on Tuesday, 14 November 2023, between the 2 tickets that obtained the highest number of votes, the presidential ticket of the Coalition of Democratic Change, CDC, led by Mr. George Weah, and the presidential ticket of Unity Party, UP, led by Mr. Joseph Boakai. Political campaign for the 14th November runoff election is hereby declared open 24th October 2023 and shall close on the 12th of November 2023 at 11:59 p.m.
Deviata Brown Lasana is the chairperson of the National Elections Commission. Representative Henson Kazulu has termed the Grand Cape County Central seat as a desperately needed golden opportunity he lost in the just ended October 10, 2023 presidential and legislative elections. Yazulu, who is the incumbent representative of Mansoura County Electoral District 17, was defeated in the Grand Cape Mount Central race by Madam Dapa Papala on the ticket of the Unity Party. The Mansoura County District 17 lawmaker speaking to some residents recently noted that he is now focused on reflecting and recalibrating to get prepared for another election in 2024. Let's get to the development. The Liberia National Rural Women Mansoura County Chapter President, Madam Ohawa, has managed women to take advantage of farming across the country. Speaking with schools Women Tuesday at the Bravia City Hall in District 17 Mansoura County, Madam Howard said President Weah gave $3 million Liberian dollars to national rural women to engage with farming and to also support their children and family members in school.
Politicians, okay, they want to do, they show me what not to do.